Hey guys, it's Drummond. So as you can tell from the thumbnail, this is the boyfriend tag. So you guys might have seen Matt in a few of my other videos, but I figured that I'd make an official video announcing that we are together. So I got a few of my friends to send some questions, and we're gonna answer some questions about our relationship. So here we go. So the first question is favorite date.
Oh boy. There's definitely lots of options to pick from, but I'd have to say the favorite date is probably the first one we went on, just because like we went to the safari park and I thought it was kind of like an out-of-the-box idea. Out of the box, is that even a thing? Like outside the box? I don't know. Outside the box, like it was unique, and it was like an opportunity to allow both of us to like get to know each other on like more of a personal level, rather than just like a movie and a dinner, which I feel like is kind of like, I mean, you don't really get to know someone that well. It's generic, and that's something you do like when you know someone, and you know you don't like feel like you don't need to talk all that much. But like it was really nice. Like we went and did that, and then we you took me back here and you showed me the farm and this really cool waterfall, and that's still one of my favorite spots I've ever been today. So like that was really nice. Then later that night I was like, hey, do you wanna come back to my house and we can hang out? And like I didn't really know how it was gonna go, and we ended up watching this clown movie on Netflix. It was like this scary movie, but yeah, it was like the dumbest movie either of us had ever seen. And but like I didn't even care, because like I just got to cuddle you the whole night, and I was like, this is really nice. Like we could be watching Titanic right now and I'd be okay with it. So yeah, that it was perfect from beginning to end. So I'd have to say like the first one, because like all the memories were so vivid from that one.
I'll say one detail he left out about the first date was we did get lost.
Okay. Let me butt in really quick. Okay, so we're going down 81, and I was so nervous and anxious trying to like keep the conversation going that like I missed my turn like 3 different times. I had to turn around and we had to drive like 20 extra minutes because I missed the turn. And then he's like, oh, you need to turn at that gas station right there. So I turn at the gas station, but then I turn off on this like back gravel road and we're like lost in the middle of nowhere. It was great.
Had he had told me where we were actually going, I would have been able to get us there, but because it was a surprise, I didn't know where we were going, so we were lost because I live really close to the Natural Bridge Safari, and had I known that's where we were headed, I would have been like, hey, there goes the exit we needed to take.
It was a surprise. I didn't want him to know, so.
I'll definitely say I've never done a date like that before. But I would say there's 2 that kind of stand out. I'll say one of them was when you took me to the yoga class, because I'd never done yoga before, and honestly, when you suggested it, I was just like, this isn't something that I'm going to like enjoy, but I'll do it. And it wasn't just like any yoga class, it was like hot yoga, where like you're sweating.
It was hot. It was real hot.
So like I signed up for the class because we had to sign up online, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be horrible because I have no balance whatsoever. We got there a little late, and so the room was pretty much full of nothing but girls. I think there might have been one other guy. The instructor was a guy, but so we were like right at the door. So like every time someone like walked in and out to like use the bathroom or whatever, like cold air just like hit, and I was just like, yes. But like I was sweating so much that my mat was getting wet and I was slipping everywhere. So like not having good balance, having a mat that's like super slippery, and I've never done yoga before. Like my aunt teaches yoga and she's taught me some of like the moves, but I've never done a class. So it was a struggle, but I would say my favorite date is probably when you met me at work and then we came back to the cabin, and I went down to the house to, I think I grabbed clothes because I didn't. No, I showered. I went down and showered, and then you told me you like had a lamp and tons of bags, and like I came back up here and you had like prepared sushi, and then you had like pillows and blankets for the couch, and then you had stuff ready for a bath, and I was like, this kid is thinking that he's gonna get me naked on the second date. And then you like pulled out shorts and you're like, and here you go, shorts for us to wear. And I was like, oh, look at him. He actually prepared and wasn't going to try to get.
He's not just trying to get the booty tonight. There's more to it.
Okay, so the second one is the moment you realize you wanted to date me.
The moment I realized I wanted to date you.
That's funny because you asked me to date you in this cabin.
Yeah, that is funny.
We're here again.
I've got to say, there wasn't like a particular moment where I was just like, oh, like I want to be together, and that's the deciding thing. Like, I think like we got along pretty well from the get-go. Like even from like the first date, like I felt like we vibed pretty well together. We got along really well. We just had like a general connection. It wasn't like forced. It was just kind of natural. But I think the day that I really realized it was probably, it was like the morning we went to hot yoga. So that was like, maybe, we knew each other for probably around a month at that point. And you know, we had hung out for a few weeks before, and we went to that, and like you said in my last question, we were just drenched in sweat. Like there was sweat coming out of places that I didn't realize my body could sweat from. So like, I guess just seeing each other in like that vulnerable state, and the fact that I already felt like comfortable enough that like that didn't really bother me. And usually like I'm really self-conscious about stuff like that. So I think that was the moment I knew, like we got back here and hung out at the cabin later that day, and I just thought like, this guy's great, like I just want to lock him down like right now and see how many more hot yoga sessions we can squeeze out of this.
I guess for me, it wasn't like one specific moment either, but it was like several different things. I guess one of the big ones was actually the yoga day and then the camping trip. But the yoga day was actually the day we were in Charlottesville, and my friend messaged me about my friend Trey passing away. And like I tried to pretend like it wasn't affecting me, but like you could tell that like my whole mood had changed, and you were really catering to it versus like trying to force me to be happy, or like you didn't care that had happened and pretty much could have ruined like the day, but like we still made the most of it because we went and got lunch.
Yeah, we did.
In Charlottesville, and then we went and got donuts and then came back.
Right.
And it was weird because the night before, we were actually at the cabin, and I was showing you like pictures and stuff, and I'd actually shown you pictures of Trey and like told you how Trey and I knew each other. So it was kind of weird that like all lined up. But like,
it's weird how it worked out.
But like the second thing I mentioned was like the camping trip, and just talked about that in my last video of how I got back from California and something happened. I just got super sick, and my family had the camping trip planned, and you came, and I was feeling miserable. I'd felt miserable. I'd felt miserable since that morning, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to cancel this trip. And like the entire time you were just like, are you okay? And you were making sure, like, because I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and it was horrible. But that was also pretty funny.
Why was that funny?
Yes. I don't think I've actually, it's happened twice now, but I've been woken up in a panic state because when we were camping, Matt heard my mom snoring, and he didn't know what it was, and we were in the middle of nowhere camping, and he thought it was like a bear outside of the tent. So like I'm passed out, finally asleep, because the medicine finally kicked in, and he's like shaking me awake and like panicking because he thinks there's like a bear about to tear us apart.
There was the loudest growling noise outside, and like I was 100% certain that there was a bear like right outside of our tent, because the thing was, we left all this food in our tent, and I was just like, you're not supposed to do that, but we did anyway because it was raining, and all I heard was these loud noises, branches breaking, and yeah, it turned out to be his mom snoring, and it took us about 5 minutes to realize, and like our panic-stricken mode, we were like ready to scream and run out there and like chase him down, and yeah, it was your mom.
Next question, funniest moment in the relationship. I mean, to me, I feel like the camping trip, and when the night my sister came home at like 4 in the morning and you were like panicking because you thought a killer was coming up the steps.
Alright, that was not funny. So what ended up happening,
it wasn't funny at the moment because like I felt like I was having a heart attack, but it's funny looking back at it after you figured out what it was.
I feel like my funniest moment was probably... Okay, I got a good one. Okay, so I feel like you already know what I'm about to say. So I was having a conversation with one of my best friends a few nights before this happened, and she was telling me about how her boyfriend had farted so loud the night before that it woke both of them up in their sleep. And like I was just dying laughing, and I didn't think it was possible because like I'd never had that happen. And the very next night I stayed here with you, and well, not at the cabin but at the farm, and I like fell asleep with my knee up. Like my knee was like this, like one leg was like that. So like I woke up in the middle of the night to like this loud abrupt sound, and it scared me because like I didn't know why I'd woken up, but I was just like, what's going on? And I realized I had farted really, really loud, like several times, and I was kind of just sitting there and praying that it hadn't woke you up, because it was pretty early on in the relationship, and I was just like, don't know how this is gonna go over. Please don't be awake.
Thomas definitely did not wake up for that, but he could not contain himself the next day. He just kept laughing. So eventually I forced him to tell me why he kept laughing. Most embarrassing moment.
Okay, so for the most embarrassing moment, I would have to say it was pretty early on. We were like 3 or 4 weeks in or something, I don't know. But we were texting about plans for that night, and I was like, what do you want for dinner? And you just sent me like a winky face back, and I was like, oh, don't worry, babe, that's gonna happen either way, but what do you want food-wise? And you were like, I was talking about pizza.
Because like every single time we've ever eaten, other than like a few times that we like went out to dinner, we always ate Blaze pizza. So like all my friends at work like make jokes about it because like they're like, oh, where are you going to lunch today? Blaze. Oh, and so like I figured that you would have understood like that smirk is like, you know what I want, that Blaze pizza, and you were just like, oh, you're getting that tonight. I was just like,
like, don't worry, guys.
That's not at all what I was talking about. Favorite quirk.
Favorite quirk, yes.
I'm so quirky.
You're so quirky, you're so nerdy. You weigh yourself way too much. Like, he will step on the scale in the morning after he gets out of a shower. He'll step on the scale when he gets home from work. He'll step on the scale before he goes to sleep. I tell him your true weight is in the morning after you use the bathroom, before you've eaten or drinking anything. But he insists on doing it on all different times of the day just to see how it's different. And then he acts surprised when he weighs 5 pounds more at the end of the day. And I'm just like,
oh. Well, it's important. It's important to know how much you weigh at all times.
At all times, okay. I guess another one probably would be you do not get your toothbrush wet before you brush your teeth. You just like put toothpaste straight on and just like go at it. And I'm just like, how do you do that without getting it wet? Like, that's so nasty.
I like to conserve water. I'm all about preserving
He'll
nature.
like swish the toothpaste in his mouth for like literally 2 minutes before he like spits it out, and I'm just like, it burns your mouth, like the whitening stuff.
Because it's a whitening toothpaste, and look, you have to whiten your teeth.
Yeah, but I use teeth whitener and it doesn't burn.
I guess we can say, when it comes to taking pictures, you have a specific angle and a specific way that it has to be taken.
I
And
have to be on the right side. I cannot be on the left. Like, I'm on the left right now, and it's bothering me.
It doesn't even have to, like, it can be a picture that I'm just sending to, like, Jasmine or my sisters, and you still are like, wait a second, gotta get it over here. Yep.
He likes to take pictures in landscape mode instead of like straight on like selfie like this. He likes to go like that.
I'm a YouTuber, and we know that thumbnails are landscapes, and that's how.
And I'm just like, we don't need all that in the background. As long as we have our faces and bodies, we're good. That's what we're taking a picture of.
So the next one is, who's more likely to propose? I feel like I would be the one that proposes. I feel like I'm the type of person that would be more embarrassed if I got proposed to. Like, if you took me somewhere and like proposed to me, like, I would probably, like, not that I wouldn't want to be proposed to, it's just like I feel like I would get super embarrassed. Like, I'm the type of person that likes to plan things like that. So I feel like I might be the one that proposes. What do you think?
I don't know. You were the first one to say I love you, but you kind of backtracked on it like twice on the same night. I was pretty sure you had said it, but I wasn't like exactly sure, so I didn't want to keep pushing it.
That's because the first time that I said it, it was because you said that you were retarded, and I said that's one of the reasons I love you. And I didn't want the first time that I said I love you to be me saying that I love you because you're retarded. And then the second time, I didn't say I love you. I said, that's why you love me. And then I was like, dang it, I don't want that to be the first time. So like, I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't, like, what? Huh? I pretended to be stupid.
Hey.
Last question. Who's more likely to surprise the other?
Me.
Yeah, I feel like that would be you. Because I feel like you, ever since we started like going on dates, you've been the one that surprises. I don't feel like, have I done any surprises? I feel like I surprised you with a gift, but I don't think I've done any like, other than like, surprise, pack your bags, we're going to the beach.
Oh, that wasn't a good surprise. I'd have jumped a bunch of hoops to.
You were already at work.
To get there.
So that one's you. You win that one. I win the proposal and you win the surprises. Because a proposal's not a surprise. That's the ultimate surprise. You get all the baby surprises and I get the ultimate surprise. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions that you have for either of us, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and go check out my other social medias. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.